How to live for free, house hacking, or just simply buy a bigger house? Stay tuned to this week's episode of Prime Properties TV. Promise you, I'll show you exactly how to do that. It'll be worth it. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. So glad you could join me here today. Every week on Prime Properties TV, we take a closer look at the Toronto real estate topics and updates that matter the most to you. And in this episode, I'm going to show you how to house hack or upgrade to a bigger house. Or better yet, even live for free, right? It is a thing. So make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the Prime Properties TV channel. That button is somewhere over here, okay? Now, the term house hacking is just a fancy term that real estate investors in the last few years have been coining and using, although the strategy has existed for many, many years. It's essentially just a means to have basically your tenants pay for the expenses of your house so that you're not paying any of that out of pocket yourself. This means that if you have a housing expense of say $2,000 a month from mortgages, insurance, and property taxes, and then you get a tenant to cover those costs for you. Now, the simplest and fastest way to execute the strategy is to have a tenant live in the same house as you. Yes, live in the same house as you. You can do this in many ways. You can rent out a portion of the house, half of it, rent out rooms, or the most common way really is to rent out your basement. Now, depending on your lifestyle choices, you can live 100% for free by renting out better parts of your house, meaning like the upstairs or like the nicer rooms, including some parts of the backyard, and you live in the smaller parts. Now, I know personally a few people who do that and house hack their way into basically living for free. Now, they do live in the basement and the tenants live on the upstairs, okay? But their tenants cover the expenses for the entire property. Crazy. It's a very, very powerful strategy, and you can be as extreme as you want or as conservative as you like, okay? But really, it's somewhere in the middle that works for you depending on your lifestyle and your expenses. Now, the most common way of house hacking is really utilizing the strategy to upgrade to like a larger home so that I can live upstairs and rent downstairs. What I typically recommend for most of my house hacking clients is to find like a larger home that's suitable for a basement apartment so that the tenant can live there. Now, let me give you a very common scenario that's happening right now, okay? As everyone's looking for more space because of COVID-19, a lot of my clients want to leave the condo and they're trading that in for a house. Now, however, a house in Toronto, you're looking at somewhere between like $1 million almost anywhere in Toronto. So to help with the larger purchase, we find a house that's suitable for a tenant with an apartment, okay? And let me show you some numbers over here so that you can kind of understand how it works. On the left-hand side, you can see that your monthly expenses on a $1 million house is roughly like $3,400 a month after property taxes and insurance, okay? So if you get a tenant in the basement, and let's say you have a 2-bedroom apartment somewhere in Toronto, you can get about $1,500 a month, okay? Maybe more, maybe less, plus or minus utilities. But just for sake of simple calculation, we'll put it over here. So ultimately, that's gonna take your monthly expenses down to about $1,900 a month. That's almost half your mortgage payment or your monthly expenses that are being paid for by the tenant. If you have the money, you can also put it back into your house and pay it off quicker, or even yet you can just invest that money so that you can grow your portfolio much faster. Crazy powerful, right? And on top of that, you get a bigger house. So to put this into perspective and how powerful this strategy actually is, let me just show you that house example compared to a 1-bedroom condo, say in downtown right now, okay? So after condo fees on like a roughly 500 square foot condo in downtown, you're looking at around $2,300 a month, okay? Which is more than the $1 million house with a tenant in the basement right now, right? And you get more space, and you get land, and you have a detached or like a semi in Toronto. Simple, yet very powerful, right? So the key to doing this strategy is finding the right house and having the proper mortgage qualifications for the purchase. I will say, this sounds really great, but not everyone can execute the strategy. But if you're able to, I would 100% recommend utilizing the strategy as you can move up the Toronto real estate ladder much faster as prices keep going up. Plus, your monthly expenses goes towards paying down your house much faster instead of having to pay for maintenance fees if you're still in a condo right now. Now, as a bonus, since we execute the strategy for our clients very often, we know lenders that lend you more money than normal on a house that has an apartment suite, okay? So the key to getting this extra money from the banks is 2 criteria. One is you need to make sure you have a separate entrance, preferably a legal one, okay? And the second one is a kitchen. Now, certain parts of the city will have these types of houses because it doesn't necessarily work on every house. So you want to know who the lender is and you want to know how to house hack and finally upgrade to that bigger house that you've always wanted, then reach out to me. My contacts will be here on the screen. Now imagine buying a bigger house and paying less money each month for living expenses. Let me know in the comment section below if this is something you've been looking for or about thinking, and that this video I'm talking to you about is kind of just getting the ball rolling, okay? Because this strategy is really powerful if you think about it. If this all makes sense for you and you're serious about finding out if you can execute the strategy, because not everyone can do it, and there's a finite time because I do think this strategy is getting more and more popular now, then do reach out to me, okay? Until next time, your move, your future. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.